How's it going, guys? White Rabbit here. Real quick to start off with, I just recently on my main channel released a video called Esoteric Cinematic Theory, and I think it's one that you guys are definitely going to want to check out, so make sure you take a peek at that. As for this channel, recently we have been covering some topics on Edward Snowden. And we've covered motives in the past. Why have they put forth this Edward Snowden type of character? And one of my suggestions to kind of fill this void is that they are getting society accustomed to being watched, right? It's a progressive thing. And so they had to kind of unveil and kind of release this type of information and let the public know affirmatively that this was all happening, so that over time people will start to get used to this idea, and a year or two or three or however long down the road they can build then on top of it. So yeah, that's kind of what we've discussed in the past, but I've been giving a lot of thought to this whole Edward Snowden thing, especially as of late, and I stumbled upon a video from the Corbett Report. I think I've mentioned the Corbett Report in the past. Guy does some great videos. Really don't have any complaints. I don't agree 100% with everything he says, but good nonetheless. Anyway, I stumbled across this video and I was directed towards this article from the Washington Post written by Karen Turner. And the title of the article is Mass Surveillance Silences Minority Opinions, According to Study. And this whole article here, I think, really gives some added insight in a slightly varied perspective on this whole Edward Snowden thing, as well as why they have been putting a lot of this stuff into the media, like movies and so on and so forth. So the article says, a new study shows that knowledge of government surveillance causes people to self-censor their detesting opinions online. The research offers a sobering look at the oft-touted democratizing effect of social media and internet access that bolsters minority opinion. The study, published in Journalism and Mass Communication Quarterly, studied the effects of subtle reminders of mass surveillance on its subjects. The majority of participants reacted by opposing opinions that they perceived as being in the minority. This research illustrates the silencing effect of participants' dissenting opinions in the wake of widespread knowledge of government surveillance, as revealed by whistleblower Edward Snowden in 2013. The spiral of silence is a well-researched phenomenon in which people suppress unpopular opinions to fit in and avoid social isolation. It has been looked at in the context of social media and the echo chamber effect, in which we tailor our opinions to fit online activity of our Facebook and Twitter friends. But this study adds a new layer by explicitly explaining how government surveillance affects self-censorship. Participants in the study were first surveyed by their political beliefs, personality traits, and online activity, to create a psychological profile for each person. A random sample group was then subtly reminded of government surveillance, followed by everyone in the study being shown a neutral, fictional headline stating that U.S. airstrikes had targeted the Islamic State in Iraq. Subjects were then asked a series of questions about their attitudes towards the hypothetical news event, such as how they would think most Americans would feel about it and whether they would publicly voice their opinion on the topic. The majority of these primed with surveillance information were less likely to speak out about their more nonconformist ideas, including those assessed as less likely to self-censor based on their psychological profile. So I just wanted to read that article for you guys, or at least part of that, and I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can read the whole thing. But pretty fascinating stuff when you think about it. What if one of the layers to this whole Edward Snowden thing is really just to silence detractors, to silence the opposition, to get people too scared to speak out on these controversial topics? I don't know, something new to add to the puzzle there. I think it's definitely part of it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thanks. Don't forget to check out my video on my main channel, and God bless.